I'd like to tell you this story. This story could be a true story if we don't do anything. You know, Abraham had to fight battles for freedom and for the stability of the continued dynasty of God's line of people. And even David had to fight battles even in his life with the affair he had with Bathsheba and that one night stand he had, and how he had issues concerning in his heart, but yet he was still a devout man for God. You know? Well, even, Jesus fought battles for our freedoms. You know, he had to die on the cross, but he didn't lose because he died, people. No, he won. Matter of fact, he blowed Satan with a blow. And he still has that big gaping hole in his side to this very day. And Satan's already lost, and Satan knows that. He knows this. Well, what makes it different for us? We should not be sitting around. We have to do something. We look through the whole Bible, just like I gave you 3 examples or illustrations of that fiber of warriorism, of obedience and resistance. Well, we are also of that same lineage of David, Abraham, Moses, Joshua, Jesus, and then us, and the future generations. We are of the same lineage. No matter if you're Gentile, Jew, or converted Islam to Christianity, you are of the same lineage of Jesus. If you've been converted, been baptized, that's what I mean by that, through baptism, watery baptism. You know, we are of that same lineage, folks. So that we should not be sitting around on our butts and doing nothing or putting our heads up in the sand. We have to make a stand. We can't allow the 503c chartered churches to rule, to set the agenda for all the churches to take away our guns. And, of course, without them probably not even knowing, or maybe blindly knowing, they may not know. And even their liberties and freedoms will go along with that once the guns go along, once they go along the wayside. We have to take a stand and say no. Call our congressmen. Call people in the government. Call the mayor. You know, let anyone know. Shout on the rooftops and say no, 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 no. But that's what we have to do, folks. We cannot let this new world order come into our country. As I always said, and as my grandfather would jokingly say, the new world, what I think about the new world order is disorder, that it's chaos. And like I've said in one of my other previous videos, that it only benefits the few. It doesn't benefit all of us. Don't let them try to sell you the lie. And them as the government or people that are for the new world order, or the people who voted for Obama, or the ones that are in for the new world order. They don't know it, but a lot of the things he's been putting through has made it more possible so that the new world order could become possible. So we don't want to become a nation like that. We want to remain free as an upstanding Christian nation, like God has given us those ordained unalienable rights. You know, the pursuit of liberty, freedom, justice, and the pursuit of all happiness. That applies to everyone, even an alien that comes in here. You know, illegals that come in here that want to have the same opportunity as us once they get their green card status. You know, I agree with that, but I don't think illegals or aliens that come into our country, either from Mexico or anywhere else, should get free money from Social Security or from the SNAP program, because they're not even U.S. citizens. And we have a lot of illegal people that are aliens in this country that are getting that. It's unjust. And that's all designed to implode or destroy our economy. You know, you keep giving money that you don't have. Eventually the government is just going to just collapse in on itself. And when that happens, there's going to be total civil unrest. So, you know, all this stuff they're just doing purposely, and that's why we need to say all the more, no, 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 against all this craziness. Because this is wrong. Nobody in their right mind would give money in any other country in the world. If you went to England or you went to London, or you went to Mexico and you went over there. You couldn't just come in this country. You couldn't come in that country for free. You got to have a passport. You know, you have to have your papers as a citizen from your country or from America, like your driver's license or an ID, and even your birth certificate as well, to prove that you are a citizen from the U.S. Even when you go abroad, you have to carry those papers in a lot of cases with you. You know, I don't know if you know that, but if you travel, you have to have those things. You have to have shots for that area. And you have to know about the customs and the culture so you can blend in, and people won't think you're a spy because you're from a foreign country. You know, coming from America to like Israel or Africa, to them they might think you're a spy if you act a certain way. So, you know, it's important that, you know, you follow what the rules are. And, you know, people coming over here in our country shouldn't be coming over here illegally and alien free, because they're not free. They shouldn't get a free pass. I don't agree with that. That's what's so wrong with our country. That's what's so dumb and stupid with this country. No, they need to get first their papers to speak English and take the test and get their green card. And then they can get a job. And if they can't get a job, then they can get benefits once they get that. But we have a bunch of people who don't even have that. And they have given cards out in Mexico, and even in Mexico, they're giving out cards that say, come over to our country, you know, get food stamps from the government, and we won't even look at your immigration status. We'll leave you alone, basically. And why are a lot of illegal aliens getting away with crime? You're not being arrested for minor or traffic violations. But yet if an American does the same thing, we get a ticket. We get ticketed and even go to jail. What's all that about? You know, this is crazy, people. Do you all realize what is going on? This isn't something to be worried or ecstatic about, but it's something that we all need to be, as Americans, concerned about, because our country is seriously in trouble. I mean, the sirens have been going off since early 2000. It's more and more louder, the sirens are today, because it's so bad, it's so wicked, so corrupt. It's crazy, it's diabolical. You know, you have a lying government that doesn't want to tell you anything. You know, you have all these things going on in the news that are half-baked, and you have all these false flags going on, starting off with the 9/11 attack spanning forward, you know, Oklahoma City bombing, you know, what happened in Waco, Texas with that church shouldn't have happened because it should have happened differently, you know, and then also coming up to the theater shooting, and then the Sandy Hook shooting, and then we're coming on up to the Boston bombing. What else is there? Then we're framing people that aren't even the suspects. What is all that about? And what is the government telling us first to ask us for help, and then they go, you know, well, you know, these people aren't, you know, these people, you know, you need to listen to us because we're the people that are in authority, but yet they're arresting people that aren't even the suspects. What's all that about? And then they expect us to trust them when they lie to us all the time. So many lies that come out of Washington, I don't know where the lies start or where they end, you know? And that's why you don't need to be a coward and sit back in your 503c charter churches and not do anything and just not question the authority, because the Bible says, Jesus even said, you know, you give to what is Caesar's to Caesar, you know, and what is to God is God. But it also says that if authority is not doing things right, you need to question it. And why aren't Christians questioning it today? That's what bothers me so much. Because we need to question it more than ever, because there's so many things that are just totally wrong with this nation. There's a lot of good, but there's a lot of awful things going on. You know, we got a government officials having sex with children, you know, taking people's kids, kidnapping them, having sex with them, and trafficking them in our own country. And it's not just here, it's worldwide. So I'm not going to just go after my country. I'm going to say worldwide, because this is a worldwide problem. You know, government should not be preying on children and selling them for sex toys and slavery toys. Our children are children, and they're precious, and they're a gift from God. And that's what they are. They're not supposed to be used as toys or side props for sexual pleasure or fantasies or sick paraphernalia behavior. These children are children of the Lord. And that's what we need to look at, folks. And it should upset you. And it should make you want to get out there and shout at the tops of your lungs and say no. Call your congressman. Call your neighbors. Call everybody together. Everybody in your church have a closed meeting. Talk about this. This is wrong. This is diabolical. We need to get these people out of office now. Now. They're wrong. They should be in jail. They should be indicted on war crimes, kidnapping charges, child pedophilia, and the list goes on and on and on. You know? How in the world can you lock a city down in Boston and have the whole Boston area locked down in Massachusetts and have people be forced out of their homes, for people to go in your homes, to inspect it, to ransack it, to go through it, and all that stuff was not even constitutional, even though they said it was on loudspeakers, but it was not law. It was against the law. They violated the amendments. They violated the Constitution. You're not allowed to go in people's homes unauthorized, unwarranted searches and procedures. And they didn't even have a warrant, speaking about a warrant. So why in the world did our government do this horrible atrocities? I'll tell you why, because they're not following the Lord. They're not following Jesus. They're corrupt individuals that are working for them. They don't care about decency or welfare. You know, but there are people that do care. And the ones in the government that are good need to tell on these people and get these people arrested and expose these people for who they really are. Tyrants who are working for the globalist fascist elite. The people that are in there. We have foreign people like Islam people that are working in the government that are part of the Saudi and also the Middle Eastern Muslim cartels that are doing all this violence all through those areas in the Middle East. We have them in our government as intelligence operatives who are going around selling our secrets and important things that they have no business to be talking about, that are supposed to be classified, leaking out all kinds of information, and you wonder how these people get the technology. Our government has been caught, and other news people have leaked it. You know, lots of news people have leaked it, that our government has been given weapons of all kinds, missiles, long-range missiles, that they may use to shoot down airliners in the future, in the near future, just so they can take over our land and say a terrorist person did it. Well, how did they do it? Because our government gave them the technology to do it. Because they didn't have the technology. But our government made some kind of evil deal with them. And that's how they got the technology. Because these people didn't have it until recently, until last summer. And now a lot of them have it because our government's been making all these underhand deals. I'm telling you, we need to get these bad people out. We need to come up with a new government, a new Congress, a new Senate, because the people that are in the Senate and Congress and House that are not working for us, they need to be arrested and they need to be tried and they need to be tribuned, and we need to replace those people with real people that are on fire for the Lord, on fire for this country, and on fire to help the people, and not just worry about themselves or getting votes in office, pushing through legislation half-cocked without even reading the articles like they've been doing, and just pushing it through even though Obama signs it with executive order or just pushes it through into law. That is totally evil and wrong, and that's what's been going on for the last, even before Obama, even Bush Sr. things went through, and Jr. especially, and then Clinton some things went through. These things have been going on for not just Obama. This is totally wrong. These people need to be brought to justice. Do you understand me? Why isn't anybody doing anything about it? What happened to the early America? What happened to the people that really cared about this country? Where are they? Is it only me making the noise? Is it just noise, or is it really thoughts and ideas? I'm not saying to go to war. I'm not saying to kill people. No. All I'm saying is that we need to shut the people. We need to get the people out of there that are evil, that represent the people that want to destroy our country. Don't anybody see this? Or are you all too blind and too dumbed down by all your gadgets, meaning your cell phones, your iPad, your television set, which is the worst dumbed downer of all, watching your, Round of Thrones or Who's going to win on Star Search? As far as I care, who cares? The things we need to be more concerned with is with America and with our freedoms and our safety and our sovereignty. That's more important than anything right now. Not all this other crazy, foolish, stupid stuff that has nothing to do with what's really going on, which is totally evil in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the world, and that the devil is totally being unleashed by these evil, vile men and women that represent the government, that are doing the bad things in our government. There are good people in our government too, but there's bad people there too that are corrupt and are not even caring about you or me or I. They just want to implode the economy and destroy our nation so they can make it martial law nationwide. I'm not lying to you folks. I don't want to go down that alley. That's why I send these videos out, because I love you and I care about you more than you ever know, and I don't have to know you. Stop trying to come up with excuses and say that people like me and Alex Jones are crazy, because we're not crazy. We're more insane than probably most of the people you know. And the one that says that they're crazy is the one that's got something wrong with them. It's not us that's crazy. It's you who's saying that we're crazy is crazy. You just need to look at what's really going on. Because I used to think Alex Jones was crazy and a loon too, you know. But then when I started seeing a lot of his stuff, because I'm a very smart guy, I have almost an IQ of 140 to 160. You know, I'm very smart. I'm a genius. I know when I know a kook when I see one, and Alex Jones is not none. However, some people that come on there, on his shows sometimes are a little way out there. But most of the stuff, most of the time, is right on the money. I used to think he was crazy. I used to think he was weird. I used to think what he was talking about was just all fear-mongering. I was like that. But then I started seeing things happening. And I started thinking. I started putting timelines together and with events, current events. And all the stuff just fits. If you really listen and set aside all the noise from the media and all the stuff you hear from the public, secular, bought-out media that's been taken over by our government, and listen to alternative media, you'll get real of the truth. Instead of thinking it's just all noise, because it's not noise. The media that you're listening to that's been bought out by the government, like, you know, all these big medias, you know, are the noise. But the alternative media is the ones that risk their lives to bring you the real, true information, because we care. We don't want to preserve. We want to restore America. We want to bring people back to where we should be. And that's why I'm doing this and risking my life, because I love you and I love America. And I know there's people that will protect me. And I know that God is protecting me. I know that. I know there's a risk I could go to jail. I know there's a risk that somebody could come and get me. But I don't care, because I love my country. And I don't want my country to lose its freedom or lose its heritage. It's Christian heritage. We all came over here to escape oppression and to escape, if you know history. I don't know what they're teaching in the schools today, but when I was in school, they taught the real history. I don't know what they're doing today, but we came over here to escape things like tyranny and oppression and abuse, and amnesty and fascism, communism, collectivism, and tyrannical dictatorship. We came over here for freedom of religion, for freedom of ideas. That's what real America is, for the rights that we have. The Constitution. That's why they were written, people. If you don't know it and you're still playing your video games and you got your head somewhere else, that's why it's all messed up and why people want to troll and say all kinds of things about us. That's evil and bad, because they don't understand, because they're blind and misguided souls. And God says that God will show an illusion to people who refuse to believe the truth. And so therefore they will believe what their illusion is as being the truth, when yet they're being sold a lie. And that's what's happening to a number of you, even a lot of people in the church and the body of Christ today. So it's our time to stand up. I was at a church here, and I had an elder tell me that we don't need to stand up. It's not we just don't need to question it. We just need to give in. And this was at a Church of Christ, and I felt like, all the ancestors that were in the early churches would roll over in their grave, hearing that stuff, because that's not what God wants us to do. That's not what Jesus wants us to do. He wants us to stand up and speak out against this lunacy. This is wrong, people. Don't you see it? It's wrong. I love you. And please help us, support us. Send your donations of financial gifts so the video can get better. So we can do work like Alex Jones, but I need your support. Just listen to a few minutes of the video. Listen to all of it. I know your attention span is all eaten up because you got so many things you got to do that waste your time. That there really isn't anything you need to do, but listening to this video is more important than a lot of those things. And I'll be pushing out more. It's May the 2nd, 2013. This is my journal or my blog entry of how I feel about America. And I'll be sending more every day of giving you messages of importance and of prayer and concern. I love you. I care about you. I wouldn't waste my time or breath if I didn't. So let's all really think about that, folks, because this is truly happening. And if you don't wake up, America's not going to be what she is today in the future. I guarantee you that. Well, I'll see you for now. This is my video for, like I said, for Thursday, May the 2nd, 2013. Michael D. signing off.